Yo, what is up, fellas? We are back here with a video. Today we're going to be battling Sierra. I will have her channel linked down below. If you guys do not know, she is my wonderful gamer GF, bro. So, it's kind of neat. So, yeah, let me go search with our epic code as usual. But yeah, so we're going to be playing versus Sierra. Sierra's using Kyogre. I know this because we were both just talking about the stuff we were bringing earlier. I hope this isn't too loud, but it sounds incredibly loud, so I'm gonna turn that fan down, I think. I'm gonna put it on low. I think that's okay. Yeah, because, like, that was a little too obnoxious. Okay, she doesn't have the rules, obviously. So, let me put the rules down. I think I have them. Yeah, I'm gonna turn off my fan, by the way. So I'm going to be burning during this set, but we are going to be using Xerneas versus team. Guys, if you enjoy the content as always, if you guys are enjoying the content as always, make sure to support the channel. I incredibly appreciate it. Obviously, it helps me out. Make sure to check out the Patreon if you haven't already. You guys get access to all the teams I use in tournaments. This team is actually not going to be Patreon exclusive. Let me actually change this real quick. Check next video. So it's going to be up in our next video because we didn't use this team in a tournament, really. So this one's not for Patreon. This one's just going to be for YouTube. We're uploading the video of this team tomorrow. And also make sure to check out coaching. If you guys would like to improve and you guys would like to work with someone who's obviously played with the game for a while, then I'm your guy, you know. So once again, guys, thank you for all the support. I'm really looking forward to playing Sierra. I think she's been really practicing this format as well. So it's going to be really cool to play against her. Another cool thing, too, is she actually made Team Canada. So she's actually doing pretty well in the format as well. And I'm, like, obviously really proud of her, too. So I'm, like, really excited to get the opportunity to play her. So we are playing versus Kyogre, so we have to be a little bit careful, especially that Stack Attacka. Stack Attacka is going to be incredibly annoying to deal with. We basically have two ways to deal with this, which is one, we bring the Ensign to try and, like, Parting Shot, reduce Stack Attacka's damage, or we just bring Urshifu and put on pressure like that. I kind of like the idea of bringing Urshifu and having a Mungus in the back to kind of go for Spores, and then Regieleki in the lead in case it's a more offensive, like, Kyogre mode. Because that way it's going to put you in a position where you can actually put a bit more pressure on the Kyogre, and you're not going to be relying on, like, a speed tie, I guess. So, yeah, I think this is a pretty solid approach. I kind of expect Sierra to go with the Stack Attacka mode, so it might just be a little bit about outlasting the Trick Room. But we will see, because obviously we don't know if she wants to go with the offensive Aleki mode, because the offensive Aleki mode into us isn't even the worst thing either. If that happens and it goes wrong for us, like we lose a speed tie or something, then we'll have to adjust somehow, but I don't think it should be too much of an issue. But I do expect her to be bringing her A game, so I'm looking forward to this. So, question of the day for you guys. Question is, how have you guys been liking the new thumbnails and titles, and what's your favorite out of all the new ones, and would you guys like me to keep making videos with thumbnails and titles like this, or does it not matter to you? Okay, so it actually is going to be a Stack Attack Incineroar lead, so I'd say this is okay. Urshifu puts on a bit of pressure, so that's kind of nice. I almost want to go for a Thunderbolt here, maybe into the Stack Attacker to get some early damage on it, because I know the Incineroar is probably going to want to swap into Kyogre, or like try to swap into Kyogre. So maybe if I go for a... Oh, I got to check my moves, bro. I don't even know how... Let me window project this so I can actually see the moves, because I don't want to obviously ruin your guys' experience, so I'm just going to show it like this. Let's see. Okay, Thunderbolt's here. So we're going to click Thunderbolt. We're going to click Surging Strikes. So if there's a fake out going into the Urshifu, that's okay. We get some damage on the Stack Attacka. There's a fake out actually going into the Aleki here, so we might just get this free Surging Strikes off. I wonder if we KO. I don't think we do KO. I think Stack Attack is way too bulky. Usually Stack Attack has also run Chopley Berry, so I was pretty sure Sierra's was Chopley, so I didn't really want to mess with that. So yeah, we are going to get the Surging Strikes off. We're going to get a handy amount of damage. I will say that was actually pretty good, all things considered, for like the amount of damage we were able to do, right? So that's definitely nice. Do I pin the Incineroar here? Like, so basically I can keep the Incineroar pinned and just go for a Volt switch into this slot, because that covers if Kyogre comes in, and then surging in the stack. The only play that really loses to is... Actually, I don't think that loses at all. You could even Volt Switch in the stack, maybe. And Surging Strikes in the Incineroar. Because I have an Amoonguss in the back, right? So that's not the worst position to be in. I'm going to actually do that. I do want to start removing Mons. And Gyro Ball is going to come out here. That's probably going to do a lot. Okay, it does live. That's good. Is it going to Parting Shot? Okay, so the Incineroar is going to Parting Shot. So that's actually a good thing. Because now we can get the KO in the stack. Get our Amoonguss in. And then go for a Surging Strikes into whatever comes in, right? So like we're putting on a lot of pressure that way, which is really nice. They chipped our Regieleki a little bit, which sucks, but Sierra's not really prioritizing the Urshifu, so it's kind of good for us. I'm not sure if she realized yet, but like Serena is like actually really annoying for my Urshifu, so maybe that's something that she wants to bring out a bit sooner to pressure me. I think allowing the free Surging Strikes damage into stack Attacka was a little dangerous, all things considered, because then obviously I can just kind of do what I want. I will say, though, the Serena in the back is a little bit annoying because there's still Power Whip pressure on my Urshifu. And with this Volt Switch, I am going to be removing stack, though, which is really good. I can get in my Amoonguss here if I want to. I can even get in my Xerneas, but if I bring in Xerneas, Kyogre is just going to go for a Water Spout, so it's almost better to bring in the Amoonguss here to pressure Kyogre. So we're going to bring in Amoonguss here just so Kyogre can't really come in. Just going to force the Incineroar in. But yeah, so right now Sierra's probably thinking, like, how do I get around this Amoonguss, right? Because Amoonguss is obviously a huge threat, and as soon as stack is removed, there isn't too much that can really pressure this Amoonguss. I mean, stack doesn't really pressure it to begin with, but like, it's still difficult, right? Because you don't want the Kyogre to get spored, but you also want to get like mileage out of your turns in Trick Room. I don't think Sierra realizes either that our Kyogre is actually slower, or well, slower in Trick Room than my Urshifu in Trick Room, if I'm not mistaken, because I'd assume she has some speed on it because it's still offensive Kyogre with a Lecky. So Urshifu is likely to underspeed because we're running a really, really bulky Urshifu on this team. We're going to go for Surging Strikes here. It just pins the Incineroar slot. So we're actually going to see the Kyogre double back into the Incin here, maybe trying to buy some turns. If we see a U-turn come out from the Serena, that won't be too much of a problem. If we see a Power Whip, it's a little bit annoying, but remember we also have a Lecky in the back, and we still have a full health Xerneas. Any chip we get into the Serena too is also going to be really good for us. But we're actually going to see the triple axle into the Amoonguss. It should do a good chunk of... Oh, it actually missed. If you guys don't know the interaction with triple axle, when triple axle misses, so basically it checks accuracy every single time. So Sierra actually ended up missing the second triple axle, so just cut the move short. I think that could have done a good amount of damage too. It really sucks too, because usually you want to land like 2 before you miss. But now it's obviously not the best situation. We are going to get some hardy, Surging Strikes damage into the Serena as well. So that's like super nice for our position, because we're going to be like slowly chipping down the Serena, right? We don't really want it to get in a position where it's going to be able to beat us. How many turns of Trick Room are left? 2? Alright, so there are 2 turns of Trick Room left. We can try and get in our Xerneas, but I think that's a little bit risky right now. I think we start playing like we want to stall out these last turns of Trick Room, so I just think a double Protect here is really safe. If the Kyogre comes in all, it's just pressured by Spore. And this prevents a Fake Out from being effective versus us, so there's literally no reason not to Protect here. Serena losing Feint too also really hurts, because with Serena having Feint, it could have actually broken through the Protect potentially and like pressured the Amoonguss or something. But now obviously we just get to Protect here and kind of keep ourselves safe. So Power Whip does come out here, that's fine. Amoonguss is dead weight here, but I still kind of wanted it to pressure the Kyogre if it came in, but now it's pretty safe to just bring in Xerneas, because Xerneas obviously can just set up Geo next turn. I think even though the obvious target is the Surging Strikes into the Incin, I think that could go into Kyogre, so just removing Serena with the Surging Strikes I think is like a really good play. That way you kind of keep yourself safe, so you can just Geo the turn after, and then you're going to be 100% fine there, right? If for some reason the Incineroar stays in, I mean, it kind of sucks, but it's actually not that big of a deal, so... Alright, we get in Xerneas here. If Incineroar stays in, that's okay. It's probably gonna either... Okay, Flare Blitz, actually. Is it triple Axle coming in there as well? Oh, no, it's actually a Flare Blitz into Ursh. Okay, so we're bulky Ursh, so I'm pretty sure we can take the Power Whip. If we don't take the Power Whip, it kind of sucks, but then we just get into Amoonguss, right? Actually kills. Okay, so, ooh, it was a crit. I'm not sure if that mattered, but obviously that's not the best, right? Like, you definitely don't want that to be the case. Although, I think at this point we have a free Geo, right? Like... There's very little to stop the Geomancy, so we can kind of just get that off for free. And Geomancy is obviously going to put on a bunch of pressure, so that's a really nice thing about the situation. So we can go for a Geo here, I think, and we can go for a... Do we want a Web or do we want a Volt? Or Thunderbolt, I mean. think we don't web because it's gonna die to Dazzle anyways. I think we Thunderbolt Instant to get some chip down. I'm wondering if even a Moonblast and a Thunderbolt would kill, but I think they're gonna try and kill the Regieleki so the Kyogre doesn't lose to it. But even then, I think Sierra's in a tough spot. I think I always click Geo here and I just Thunderbolt. It should be a fairly safe position for us. I mean, we're still at a point where we can lose the game if there's enough chip going into the Xerneas and maybe a parting shot. But I'd say I feel like kind of secure about our situation right now. The paralysis kind of sucks because if Incineroar gets paralyzed, I think that's just game. But I'm expecting her to get the parting shot off. Fingers crossed, because I do want this to be a good game. I want this to be pretty clean. Alright, so Geo comes out here, so I get the Geomancy up. This is obviously very solid because now I can run through the rest of the team, assuming that like my damage doesn't get dropped too much. Power Whip 2 is also a little bit threatening. We're actually going to see U-Turn come out here. Maybe a parting shot again to, like parting shot to double cycle here. I think removing the Alecki here is pretty smart because obviously Alecki is just another way to get free damage on the board. Having a Moongus in the back isn't really that helpful because it's not really doing much. The only thing it can really do is like, yeah, it can't even redirect any of the moves except for maybe Kyogre's Scald, if it's running it. So, oh, the paralysis on the Incineroar might actually be game losing though. I think that could actually be like very bad. Because now I have just a free Dazzling Gleam and a Rage Powder, and I don't think there's anything Sierra can do about it. Yeah, that really sucks. I would have liked to have a cleaner game. But that being said, I mean, it's Pokemon, right? I'm wondering, too, if the Urshifu actually lives Power Whip or not, to be honest. I just want a Rage Powder here, I think. But yeah, we get the Dazzling Gleam here. We kill the Incin or the Serena if it swaps in, and then we go for a yeah. Then we just KO the Kyogre next turn. So I think we're pretty safe here. Xerneas obviously able to clutch it out. I mean, pretty much as a Xerneas player, you have to kind of prioritize the removal of the stack before you get to the other mon. So yeah, Ice Beam's gonna come out here. Okay, Citrus Berry activates, so she knows about the Citrus Berry on this team now. She didn't already. So obviously going to see the recovery there. But I think the nice thing about this situation is that, like, because the Incineroar didn't get the parting shot off, it's not as close where, like, maybe a cycle or, like, sacking the Serena and getting an Incineroar to fake out again could have been threatening to us. So, yeah, I think we just Gleam. Like, Xern is just kind of going to run through here. You see... Alright, yeah, that was, I mean, that kind of sucked, because, like, I would have liked to not para her. I don't think she had Roar, but it definitely would have sucked if she did, right? So, but, yeah, going into this game, too, I might expect to see a Regieleki adjustment just to put pressure on the Urshifu. I think my lead into her was very good, because the Urshifu kind of, like, I think probably the Protect into the Urshifu would have been better, or the Fake Out into the Urshifu anyways would have been better, and could have put her in a better spot. But I think the fact that she decided to fake out into the Alecki really sucked because I chipped down the Sack Attacker really early, which was super, super problematic for the game plan. So I'm kind of interested to see if she's going to adjust by maybe just faking out into the Urshifu instead, or just going for something completely different, right? Because both of those are, like, valid options, you know? I think we're gonna go with the same thing though, because I don't think we really need to Intimidate here. Intimidate's not the most crucial thing to deal with, because, or the most crucial thing to utilize, because there's not much on the team that really cares about being intimidated besides the Sack Attacka, and Serena is like whatever, because like Xerneas can sit in front of that anyways, right? Amoonguss just gives you the ability to stop the Kyogre from being really threatening in Trick Room, and that's the main benefit there. I'm kind of curious, what another thing Sierra could do that would actually be really good here is potentially the Incineroar Kyogre adjustment, because you can go for a Fake Out, you can go for a Water Spout, and if you're expecting like a double Protect turn or like a more passive turn, you can swap into your Serena, or you swap into your Alecki, right, on the Incineroar slot, and then pressure Electro Web and Water Spout next turn, and I can't Protect from both of those two. Assuming that it's not a speed tie and she has a slower Alecki, then what that means is that she's not going to have as, like, many, Like, she's not going to have as many options, but the Aleki is still, like, a little bit threatening to me, so I have to be a little bit careful there. But we are going to see her put in her selection. And Incineroar Aleki lead, too, I don't think would be bad into us, because you put a lot of pressure on with the Specs Aleki. Threatening damage there. I know there's also Thunder on that Aleki as well, because I had actually helped her practice a little bit. And Thunder Aleki is actually really strong. So... Okay, Regieleki card. So she did make the adjustment I was thinking she was going to do. I think here we have a very safe web. Right, like, unless this Kyogre's max speed modest, which it wouldn't really make sense on this team. I think we're fine to just web protect, because then it's going to put us in an advantageous position for the turn after, where we get Xerneas in to just, like, put on extra pressure. So, I think we can protect here and just web. Even if the Regieleki goes for an Electro Web, right, we'll still be fine there. So. Let's see. Like, I think it's, like, fine. It's an okay lead into us. I do think it puts a little bit more pressure, which is kind of what she needed. We'll see who Aleki goes first as well. Okay, I do get the web off, so I am faster, so that's a really big deal, because obviously I'm getting the web off first, right? Depending, though, on what Sierra does, if she Volt Switches here, that could be very bad, because with a Volt Switch and a Water Spout, that could actually just remove my Aleki from play immediately. We're actually going to see a Thunder go into the Aleki. I mean, I have Sash, so I live. I'm kind of curious to see what the Kyogre did. If the Kyogre went for Scald, that's bad. Yeah, okay, no, it went for Water Spout, so that was pretty safe. The bad thing about this situation, though, is now it's a free swap into Xerneas, which is going to obviously put on a bit more pressure. But if Stack Attack is in the back, then Stack Attack is still going to pressure me. Assuming they remove my Urshifu, it's actually still a really bad position. Because then I'll have nothing to stop Stack Attack. So what I think I need to do here is Geomancy and swap into my Amoonguss to preserve my Urshifu, because if I lose my Urshifu, I lose the game. So I'm going to Geomancy, and I'm going to swap into Amoonguss here. Amoonguss should be able to take any combination of hits, even if there's a prediction of, like, Thunder and Ice Beam into it, because of the Citrus Berry. So that should be an okay situation. We do need to be really careful, though, because if Stack Attack is in the back and too many of my mons get cleaned, we actually will probably lose the game. Aleki's probably, like, target number 1 to remove, because as soon as Aleki's removed, then my Urshifu has a lot easier time. Incineroar in the back, though, could present some issues as well, with, like, fake out pressure, and then maybe setting up the stack with getting Trick Room, because Trick Room can still be annoying. I think the Amoonguss is, like, the number 1 annoying thing for Sierra. We're going to see Incineroar come in here. I'm kind of curious to see if Thunder is going to go into the Xerneas, because that would actually do a good chunk of damage. If I'm not mistaken. Alright, we're going to get the Geomancy off first, though, because obviously we webbed turn 1. So let's see if there's a... like, what she does here. Geomancy comes out here, that's fine. Okay. And then we see... what? Thunder come out. Okay, what does that go into? Okay, it did go into Xerneas, actually, so this is going to do a good chunk of damage. That does a lot of damage, actually. That was a really sizable chunk into my Xern, and that's actually something I have to kind of respect, because that was actually, like, kind of a crazy amount of damage. I definitely have to protect my Xern here, and I think I just go for a Spore. If I get the Spore off, it's nice. If I don't, it's okay. I really, really, really have to respect the Stack Attack in the back, though. I cannot just ignore the fact that there might be a Stack Attack in the back just to deal with me, but Thunder did so much to Xerneas that turn. So it's not exactly like I got a free pass for setting up Geomancy. Any chip in the Xerneas is good chip. I might need the Moonblast into Serena some turn to put on some pressure. All right, so Fake Out comes out here. Thunder goes into the Xerneas. I think that's probably not the best play. That being said, though, like, she can sell Parting Shot, but I'm always gonna cover and go for a Gleam here and go for a Spore into the Incin. Because that way, if there's ever a swap, it gets punished immediately by me going for a Spore. I know it's Goggles and Incineroar, but I'll cover if there's a Parting Shot onto my Xerneas. Okay, Dazzle comes out. It's fine. We're going to see the Incineroar take some chip. If it Parting Shots here, we're in a really... Yeah, perfect. Because now we're going to get the Spore off right into whatever comes in. If Stack comes in and gets Spored, this is really, really bad for Sierra, because... That's actually exactly what you don't want to happen, because stack is your win con here. It's probably safer to bring out, actually no, I'd probably bring in stack anyways, if like I was in this situation. Because like Kyogre going to sleep isn't really something you can afford either, considering Kyogre is the only thing that really puts pressure on the Ursh, right? So it's kind of tough. Yeah, I'd say this is a really tough situation for Sierra. I think the Amoonguss is beatable on her end, but I think she had to prioritize it a little bit earlier, especially versus my lady. Yeah, unfortunately, the stack isn't going to put to sleep here, but I think like if I were in her position too, I'd want the stack to be asleep too. I feel like this is a really good opportunity to just go for a Dazzling Gleam here and go for a swap into the Urshifu, because Urshifu's obviously putting enough pressure down, right? And I don't really need a Amoonguss on the field at this point. If the Fake Out goes into the Xerneas as well, I mean, that's also really smart because you're keeping your board safe. But then Urshifu is Surging Strike's pressure anyways, which is going to be a little problematic, right? So I think we are going to go into Ursh here. Ursh obviously is going to help us in this situation because it's going to pressure the Stakataka. If we get Gleam for any reason, I mean, the game is probably just sealed at that point. At this point, it can still come down to sleep turns a little bit, right? Because if Trick Room goes up or like a Gyro Ball comes out, that's still something that actually is a little bit threatening. Xerneas getting flinched here too isn't the worst thing. Is Rain going to expire? Okay, Rain does expire. Flare Blitz into Xerneas could actually potentially KO it, so you just got to respect that and just go for a Gleam, I think. If you Gleam and you go for a Surging here, I don't think there's any way you lose, because now the stack attack is pinned, where it's going to die, and if Kyogre comes in, it's also going to like faint too, so... I think we should have the game locked here, unless by some miracle this Incineroar lives the Dazzle, which, to be honest, like, after a parting shot, I wouldn't be the most surprised to see. But it did take, like, a good chunk when it came in, so I'd be surprised. Maybe we could have high rolled. By the way, I just want to say, super respect to Sierra and, like, the game she's playing. Like, I know it looks like I just set up Geomancy and, like, sweeped her, but, like, it's literally, like, not that easy. You have to really be smart about it. Like, I think her adjustment was really appropriate in this game too. I do think her Kyogre is going to drop here though, which kind of sucks. But yeah, I thought the adjustment was actually really smart here, and it made a lot of sense. But yeah, now powering up my Urshifu stuff. Dazzling Gleam should come out here, just remove the Incineroar, which it does, and now we just get the Surging Strikes and win the game. So yeah, well played to Sierra. I don't think she played that poorly. I really just think what it came down to was trying to deal with the Amoonguss, and I think that Sierra had a lot of trouble because she just didn't respect the Amoonguss immediately. And didn't respect just a potential web and like protect play, because then it gives me a free swap into the Xerneas, which obviously puts a lot more pressure on, right? Usually with Kyogre, you want to conserve your resources for a little bit later, and I think what would have actually probably been a better lead there was maybe in like Stack Attack Instant again and just faking out and Trick Rooming, or just leading Aleki and Stack Attacka, because then you can go for a Volt Switch immediately on the Urshifu and just pressure it and just like get a free Trick Room, right? The main thing you'd have to worry about is Amoonguss, but even that's something that you can like predict into. But yeah, so GG's to Sierra. I'll have her channel linked down below. Guys, definitely like support her channel. She's put a lot of work into this series, and like it definitely shows through how much effort she puts in. So I 100% respect all the effort that she really puts into it, and like definitely check her out. But yeah, I felt like we played that pretty decently. I'll see if she wants to do a post-match, maybe. Actually, she's pretty tired because we're doing this pretty late at night, and this is usually our bedtime. So, but yeah. So, guys, once again, thank you for supporting all the videos. Just kind of to wrap up the video. As always, like, I really appreciate the support. If you guys haven't already, make sure to check out Sierra's channel 100%. Check out the coaching links down below. Check out the Patreon down below. You guys all get exclusive perks for each of those. For coaching, you specifically actually learn how to, you know, play the game. But yeah, it's just like a really good resource. And guys, if you haven't already, make sure to like and subscribe. I incredibly appreciate like literally all the support. It means a lot. So thank you guys for really just supporting these videos and just like constantly showing me love. And like I'm glad that I'm helping you guys learn stuff. And through like battling Sierra, I can kind of see the stuff she learned too. So I'm really happy to see her like developing as a player and like kind of getting these new opportunities. But yeah, once again, guys, thank you again for all of the support, and I will see you guys on the next video. Peace.